everyone, and today I will show you guys the best elements for each class from level 1 to 200. So let's dive into that. So basically this is the summary that I will talk about in this video. I will have this document as well in my Discord. You can just go to my description and there will be a button for you to join my Discord, and then you'll just go to a channel called Tips and Tricks, and then there will be all this document here, and then you can check for yourself as well after this video if you like, and just go directly to which class you want and see which elements are best for each level range. Okay, so I'm here with my teleports in this magnificent dungeon. It looks so good in Unity, right? So guys, I had to ask in total more than 40 people about these elements, what are the best elements for each classes, more than 2 persons at least per class. So I basically asked people that main these classes what will be the best elements for each class. So if you feel like I'm missing something, if you feel like I'm missing an element that is quite important for any of these classes, please comment below. It will be very important for the community, okay? Let's start things off with the Kra. The Kra here, the agility way, it can go from level 1 to 124, and normally people switch to intelligence on level 125 or already on level 80. And at level 80 we have the explosive arrow, and at level 125 you have the assailing arrow. So both of them are super good. Explosive arrow is very good. It's a very good AoE damage, but normally people stay with agility from level 1 to 124 and then switch to intelligence at a level 125. So a lot of people then do it intelligence to level 150 or even to level 198 or until level 200 even. So, but there are different builds that people like to opt as well. For example, they like to go intelligence and chance at level 150 to then level 200. Or people also at level 199, they also like to go with multi with Professor Shah because it's normally a very easy set to get. But for level 150 to level 200, you have, for example, the Perfuror and the Minotaur set that are very good for Kra, and that's why people normally go for intelligence and chance. Then we have the IOP, and either people go full agility from level 1 to 200 or intelligence from level 1 to 200. Personally, I prefer going agility, and normally whenever I see an IOP rushing, they always go from level 1 to 200, okay? But nowadays intelligence has a lot of AoE spells, which could also be interesting to see how an intelligence IOP could move on and rush through these levels. I had a guy that actually tested these, but he still found that agility was the fastest way. Then we have the Sacrier, and Sacrier either can go easily with chance or intelligence from level 1 to 200. So now we got a buff in the early levels of intelligence, so it becomes more viable early on. But still, I still prefer the chance because you can attack with stasis behind obstacles, okay? Nevertheless, at level 180 you get Immolation, which is a very good AoE intelligence spell, and that's why I like it to switch from chance to intelligence at this level. Then we have the Eniripsa, and you also have 2 big elements in these builds. Either people go intelligence or either they go chance. Personally, I prefer to go intelligence because you already have a lot of AoE spells and you can also even heal yourself or your allies. And in general, people also go intelligence, or they pick up a bit chance in early game to get a bit more damage in single targets and then switch to intelligence. It's up to you what to decide in the end, but overall I really like to just go from level 1 to level 200 with intelligence because you already have massive AoE spells with intelligence. Even though they don't hit that much, they can help you quite a lot. Then we have the Ouginak, and people either go with chance from level 1 to 200, like basically just all these elements from level 1 to 200. It's very strong element in Ouginak, and it allows more versatility to the class as well in PvM. But some people also like to switch to agility at level 150 because you start getting some AoE spells with the beaten spell, and so that's why people also change for agility. Also gives you more mobility because you don't get locked and you can just go through the enemies, and even you actually can have a lot of mono-target damage as well. So it's a good balance between AoE and mono-target in my opinion, but obviously you'll not have the same range as you have in chance. So both ways are pretty good from level 150 onwards. So see yourself what is best or easiest for you to grind for a new equipment. You can even do both, you can even do chance and agility, but I do not recommend. Then we have the Feca, and the Feca, a lot of people like to play it from level 1 to 200. When I was seeing the rush of the classes, a lot of people were just going with the Feca from level 1 to 200, always with chance. But now it's also doable if you want to go a bit early levels with strength, even though I always prefer chance because you already have a good AoE on level 1. But also, a lot of people also like to change to chance and intelligence because then you have access to 2 different glyphs and you can put almost every single turn a different glyph, or you can have 2 glyphs in the camp. And you also have a lot of good sets that allows you to this be elemental. We have already the white-red set, so if you manage to grind for this set, is super good. But you also have other options, for example, the Masto or the Minotaur set, which are also very good for this be elemental way. And it's honestly super strong. These sets give you normally a lot of range and a lot of stats in both elements. Then we have the Enutrof, and Enutrof is very good with the strength way from level 1 to 69, and normally people change to level 60 because you get the shovel of the Ancients, which is a very strong mono target spell. And so then from there on people normally stay either from level 70 to 200 with chance. Some people also go from level 150 to 200 with reduction movement points, which is also very good because even though you are trying to rush, it's important for you to actually allow or help your team if you have some reduction movement points. And normally these sets are also very easy to farm. Also, some people like to go with strength or agility, and in my opinion, you can pick up strength again at level 155 when you get the pit bog, and then after that you also have the shovel throw or something like that, which does a lot of damage. Or you also have at agility already at level 95 you get the hard cash, which allows you to play agility really early on if you like, okay? But nevertheless, I always prefer chance because I really like the ability for you to just remove some movement points. So for the Srams, it's very difficult on the best approach in my opinion for the best elements, but people either go with strength all the way from level 1 to 200 because at level 1 it's already very strong, the spells that you get with strength and even the traps. At level 85 it starts to be possible to go with agility because you get the mistake, I think that's the name, and it's a very good AoE spell that you can get already really low level. Alongside the con, which you get at level 45. And so at level 85 it's very good, and then after that at level 125, if I'm not mistaken, you get the epidemic, which also helps a lot with AoE damage. Besides that, it's also very possible if you want to go the chance way. Chance was a bit better before the rework. It had, I think, more AoE damage, but it's still very good from level 155 onwards because you start getting some AoE spells, and it's actually super strong even for solo play. I personally like to go with strength up to level 85, then with agility to level 155, and then with chance all the way to 200. Now let's go for the Forgelance, which is a class that it's being talked a lot recently. Like everyone is talking about Forgelance and that they want to go with it for the initial rush. So in my opinion, you can go with strength from level 1 to 105. After that, it's not so worth it in my opinion because then you get the white-red set, for example, and you can go chance or intelligence or even both ways. So the beginning of Forgelance, in my opinion, it's super strong if you go from level 1 to 30, and then at level 30 you can switch for intelligence, and then with intelligence you can go from level 30 to 200 if you like. And if you want to go with chance, it's very good if you first go to level 82, which you get rank 2 on your lake lance, which then you get more AoE on your lake lance, which is very important because in the beginning it's not so big. And then you can also opt from going from level 82 to level 200 all the way, or you can also go from chance and intelligence doing the same thing as the Feca. We have the white-red set, we have the Masto set, we have the Minotaur set, which is a very good combo. You can play really at long distance with chance and intelligence because you just put a lance near the enemies with a chance spell and then you do like a lot of damage, for example, with your must spell, intelligence spell. So I go from strength from level 1 to 29, then from level 30 to 104 I go intelligence, and then I go 105 to 200 with chance and intelligence. Then we have the Zobal, which was very hard for me and even for the people that play with Zobal to determine what is the best way for this class. So we kind of decided that the best approach initially would be going with chance from 1 to 34 because you already have a good AoE spell at level 1. Then after that you can go from level 35 to 200 if you like with strength, because you get the Furia spell and you have a lot of damage with this strength build, but it's very mono target. But at level 135 you can, for example, go with agility because you gain a really good AoE spell in agility, so you can either continue with strength or change then to agility. Then we go for the Pandawa, and the Pandawa is also a very difficult one because a lot of people either go agility or chance. So you can either go from level 1 to 200 with agility or chance, but in my opinion I prefer agility from level 1 to 79, and then you get the melancholy at level 80. So at level 80 to level 109 I like to go with chance, and then switch again to agility at level 110 when you get the numbness, which is a very good AoE spell, and then I stay with it until level 200. Then we have the Sadida, and the Sadida is also very tricky one because you have so many multiple ways to play with it. I just don't like to play with intelligence in the Sadida for rushing, but you have either you can go from level 1 to 200 with chance, which it's a more sustained build. You can mostly play solo if you go with chance, or a lot of things you can do it solo. And then if you want to do really a lot of damage and do early levels infection, you can go with strength. You can also go from level 1 to 200 with strength. It does a lot of damage normally, and it's also very easy to infect new targets. For agility, I recommend you to start, if you want to go agility, from level 10 onwards, because your level 1 spell is not very good because you don't really infect, but it's good to renovate your infection. So at level 10 you get the Mad Doll, and summon that can infect enemies, so from there on you can already farm. But in my opinion, I really prefer to just go with agility later on after level 100 when you get some spells that can actually infect new targets without needing a Mad Doll or like a beginning infection from any other spell. But in my opinion, I recommend going with strength from level 1 to 99, and then from level 100 to 199 going with chance, because strength starts to decay a bit in my opinion after you pass the first levels, and then chance will actually be super useful because you have a lot of AoE damage with healing even and damage at the same time, so you can do damage and heal your allies and yourself. So now let's go for the Osamodas. The Osamodas was also a very tricky one. We also had to discuss with 4 people with 4 main Osas about this one, and we came to the conclusion that strength is very good from level 1 to 99 because you have at level 1 you already have a good AoE spell, and I think at level 70 you get the Crackler Punch, which is a very good AoE spell as well to just rush and farm enemies. But chance starts to shine at level 70 when you get your first AoE spell. So you can, for example, go from level 1 to 69 with strength, and then from level 70 to 200 with chance, which is pretty good, okay? But if you intend to do achievements, I recommend you to go with agility from level 1 to 200 because you'll be able to dodge, you'll be able to escape enemies. You also have a lot of tools in agility way that allows you to manipulate your enemies or yourself, and also your Dofus, since they walk a lot, they can go to extreme parts of the map to get attention from the mobs, and then you can easily go through a lot of achievements and a lot of dungeons like that. Then we go from one of my mains, the Foggernaut. So the Foggernaut, in my opinion, you can go from level 1 to 104 with chance if you like. It's a very good mono target damage if you want. In my opinion, I honestly do not really like it. I normally go from level 1 to 19 with chance. I go with the PoE set, and then I just do the Cardorin dungeon, for example, and then I already farm the Bearman set to get intelligence. You can also go from level 1 already with intelligence to level 200 if you like, and with strength, in my opinion, you already starts to be good only at level 70 when you get the Anchor, your first AoE spell, because before that your strength spells are not so good to do damage overall, they are just good to position your enemies. And then, if you really want to do a lot of mono-target damage, I recommend you to go agility at level 140. So if your intention is to do mono-target damage and a lot, you can already get the Pilfer spell, which is a very good spell to do damage to a single target. And so you can go agility way from level 140 to 200. Personally, what I normally go is, like I said, I go to 20 with chance, and then I go from 20 to 104 with intelligence, and then at level 105 I switch to strength with the Black Rat set. We also get a really good strength spell, which is the Rudder, which is a very good AoE spell, and then I stay with it until level 200. So now we go for my main class, which is a very difficult one to define the elements because it's so hard, honestly. Like, in my opinion, how it is at the moment, you can either go from level 1 to 200 with all elements. You can go with chance, intelligence, strength, or agility. It really depends on your playstyle, basically, okay? So, but my personal opinion is that I really like to go with strength from level 1 to 104 because you have a lot of range normally. So it's kind of worth to go with this element when you don't have many action points, and so you need always to play a bit safe and a little bit with distance. But then after that, you can get your white-red set at level 105, which then you are able to go with chance and intelligence, which is a super good combination in my opinion. It allows you a lot of versatility, so in my opinion you can go with 105 to 200 with chance and intelligence for a more versatile build, and you can also go with strength and intelligence from level 150 to level 200 with, for example, the Obsidian set, or even other sets that give you strength and intelligence. And it's a very good set because it gives you a strength and intelligence build, which is a very damage build, because this combination makes that the enemies become more vulnerable, so you'll basically just do more damage, and you also can play a lot in the distance. A really good combination that I also really like, it's agility and strength, because it allows you to really play really far away, because whenever you do agility and strength on an enemy, you get more range. So at level 130, you have access to the first really good agility strength set, and you can get the light set. It's called the light set. It's a very good set for this combination, and then you can also add a few more parts that has agility and strength to this build if you like, because this light set only has 4 parts. And then to finish, we have one of my favorites, and I'm so excited to try, which is the agility and chance. So we have the crocodile set, the chief crocodile set, which is a super good set that you get at level 80, I think, and gives so much agility and chance. The problem is that it's super hard to grind this set, so I really recommend you to do this agility chance set after level 130, because you have access to the Janus Wabbit set and to the Mastic set, and then a bit later on you get access to the Sunken set, which are very good agility chance sets. And this is basically your bruiser build. You will be able to be near the enemies, do a lot of AoE damage, but really a lot of AoE damage, and heal yourself, because you have 2 spells, 1 chance and 1 agility that you can cast on yourself and do a 2 circle area of effect. So it's a very good set if you just like surround yourself with your enemies and then basically do damage in AoE and steal the life of your enemies. And besides that, the combination of these agility and chance is that whenever you do this combination on the enemies do less 15% damage. So it's a very good build to make your enemies with less damage and also to heal yourself back. So it's a very good bruiser build, and I really like it. I'm very excited to try it out. Then after that, we have the Ecaflip. The Ecaflip is kind of hard to do because of its new passive. So either you can go with 1 to 200 as a multi, because you now have different sets that can have multiple stats. So for example, at level 10 you have the purple PoE set. It's honestly quite good. I was expecting to be worse, but it's honestly quite good. And you also have the micro set and the Grunob set at level 40ish that actually helps a lot with the Ecaflip build. In my Discord I have a channel with a lot of builds for Ecaflip multi, so feel free to check it out if you are interested. Or you can go just with the basic one, which is the intelligence one, which is the safer one, which you go from level 1 to 200 with intelligence, because you can heal a lot and you can do quite good damage as well. But the only thing is that does not combo really well with your passive, mainly in the early levels. Then the chance build is also very good, but only comes online after level 150, because critical builds are not very good before that. You start getting good critical stats after level 150, in my opinion, and so after this level it actually becomes a very strong offensive build. Now we come to the last 3 classes. We go for the Rogue, and the Rogue, either you can go with level 1 to level 199 with intelligence. It's a build that basically scales better with damage, so your line traps, your line of the bombs do more damage with intelligence bombs, and it also has a lot of survivability because you have 2 spells that allows to recover your health. You also have the strength build from level 1 to 200. You can also do it easily, and it's a more fast-paced build because your earth bombs do more damage with explosion, okay? So you can easily set up a bomb every turn and explode them, and they actually will do quite good damage. I honestly prefer go with strength from level 1 to 54, and then at level 55 you get the extraction spell, which is an intelligence spell that you lifesteal from the enemies, or even you can use it on your bombs, for example. And it's a very good way to survive in the battlefield, because the problem of the Roguelord, they can actually die quite quickly because they don't have many tools to protect themselves. So at level 55 you get this spell, and so from level 55 onwards I go with intelligence builds. Now for the Eliotrope, this one was very boring, let's say, because everyone that I asked that mines Elio, they always told me like from level 1 to 200 you just go intelligence because it's a very straightforward build. You have a lot of sustain and you have a lot of AoE damage, but you also have the strength build if you like from level 1 to 200 as well, if you want a more position approach and even debuff enemies, for example. So it's a more support build if you like. And if you want a lot of mono target damage, I recommend you going with agility from level 150 onwards. So after this level, you have a lot of very good agility sets at level 150, and you have good spells as well with agility that can do actually high damage if, for example, the enemies are even close to a wall, or even they don't need to be close to a wall, but overall you do actually a really good damage with agility spells. So normally people go with agility spells when they want, for example, to do Blitzkrieg achievements, which is you need to kill basically one enemy in one single turn, so you need to do output a lot of damage, okay? Just take in mind that normally people go from level 1 to 200 with intelligence. Then to finish, we have the Xelor, and the Xelor, in my opinion now with the souvenir, I can even show you now in game, the souvenir now gives as lifesteal. So in my opinion, the agility builds are going to be super strong from level 1 to 200. You get the Shriveling at level 15, and it's such a good spell. Like, it's super versatile because you can play it at long distances, and it does really a lot, but a lot of damage when it's fully stacked. So it's a very good one. And so the souvenir as lifesteal, so at level 1 you can already start with agility, and at level 200 you can just keep going with that. Or you can also play, if you want a bit more AoE builds, which can be quite interesting for farming mobs, you can go with an intelligence build already at level 1 because the disruption here already also has lifesteal. And then at level 30 you get the Dark Ray, and then at level 55 you have the Shadowy Beam, also another AoE spell. At level 100 you have the Temporary Dust, another AoE spell. So you have a lot of AoE spells in this build, which is very nice if you want, for example, to farm mobs, okay? However, the Earth build comes online at level 95 because you have Earth still, you have some life still, and so Cog here starts to become actually very strong. If you want more close combat and telefrag approach, then you can go for example, Earth build. I just do not recommend for rushing because normally you just want to kill mobs fast, and this one you kind of need to be near the mobs, you need to do a lot of telefrags, and it can be not so interesting for that, okay? So either agility if you want mono target damage, or intelligence if you want AoE damage. So guys, this was everything for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. It honestly took me so much time, over 2 weeks, to gather information to get you this video here, because I had to talk seriously over 40 different people and get their opinion about their own mains and the elements that they would rush in the new server. So it was a compilation of different ideas, different opinions, theory crafting even. So if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a like, and see you next time.